got spare parts from my last broken heart. Somehow more than what I had to start. Yeah, I've got spare parts. I tried to fix it best I remembered it. I hope it runs when I fire it up, 'cause I got spare parts. So if you see something that you might need, anything you can use, what's left of it might be a perfect fit, 'cause I got spare parts. Took a piece of you, like lovers often do. But I'll try to make it good as new, 'cause I got spare parts. So if you see something that you might need, anything you can use, what's left of it might be the perfect fit, 'cause I've got spare parts. What's left of it might be the perfect fit, 'cause I've got spare.
Live and in person here from Epping, New Hampshire, home of three of New Hampshire's governors, Morrill, Plummer, and Prescott, politicking with Mr. B. You want it, you got it. Whether you want it or not, I'm here. What a lovely day we've had here in Epping, New Hampshire, and it's fixing to start snowing on us. But that's on the outside. On the inside, we're hot as it can possibly be. We got a big show coming up for you, ladies and gentlemen. All going to be going on about this apparent hit on the CEO of United Healthcare. But before we go any further, Mr. Blazeman, run up the colors because we got to get this show on the road.
Flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And when I say all, I mean all the people that live from as far as the Florida Keys all the way up to Nome, Alaska, and then out in Hawaii or wherever else you are. As long as you're here, you're an American, you're a person vying to be an American, as long as you're here legally. If you are not here legally, you are breaking the law. It is not fair to the people who have done things properly. Please, go out. Come to the lines, do the things the right way. Because if you're here illegal, you're a criminal. That is not fair. That is not at all what we're about. All right, that means, oh, wow, okay, and I'm not even drinking yet. That all having been said, before I go any further, I did promise I would do this, and for Crystal and Thomas, all the way down in Houston, Texas, they work for the Amazon company, and they sent me these wonderful shirts for something and some pins that they have award things down in Houston, #2.
You need to
they handle
mirror your camera, then put the
mirror my
shirt back
camera.
up.
Sometime I can. Okay, I'll deal with that probably in the in the camera break or something like that. But I haven't got time to play around with that right now. But anyway, I wanted to say thank you very much, Crystal and Thomas, from all the way down in Houston, Texas, who are out there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. A wonderful gift, wonderful surprise, and I am truly honored to have it. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, we have an incredible bunch of things that have been going on. We've had a school shooting we've heard almost nothing about, but apparently there is one person who is dead. Apparently, reportedly, who was reported to have been the shooter, who died by his own hand. Again, it's reported, and 2 children that are hospitalized with gunshot wounds. That's about as much of the information as I have received only minutes ago, unfortunately, and I'm very surprised that this news like this is taking a back seat to other things. But also, they do have the other situations going on where there is a massive, massive manhunt going on in the state of New York at this time, centered in New York City, for a fellow who is reportedly a Caucasian person who was wearing pretty much a black hoodie, a black mask, and a gray backpack, who, according to the reports, we'll get into it, walked up behind a Brian Thompson, who was a 50-year-old CEO of United Healthcare.
See, you already got that. You already got that a little messed up. I mean,
Okay.
I seen surveillance footage. Number one, he doesn't have on a black fucking sweatshirt. Okay. So I guess we'll wait to get into this a little bit more deep, because we have information that just got thrown at me not too much long ago. So yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. Well, that's
Okay.
fantastic. At least we got
So
that. But
yeah, do that.
Brian Thompson, 50 years old, dead of at least 2, perhaps 3 gunshot wounds. And they are saying now that there's an awful lot of little cracker crumb sort of trail that this would-be assassin, or this actual assassin or alleged assassin, has left behind. Uh, uh, People have been opining that this has been a hit for hire, or a professional hit person has gone out and done this. Others say that this is someone that may be a disgruntled former employee, or someone who's disgruntled because perhaps their loved one didn't receive health care that they should have, felt that they should have, or benefits, and this person decided to go after whoever. There's an awful lot of stuff to be discussed, over here. At
So
this
you're
time, I'm
trying
going
to
to say
find motive? You're trying to find motive?
there's plenty of things we need to find. Motive would be a really good idea, but here's what I suspect the most common motives for something like this would be. I'll be happy to give it to you. Number one, a disgruntled employee, either former or current employee, a disgruntled subscriber, or surviving partner of a subscriber who was denied benefits. That could very well be, and that's being passed around an awful lot. The CEO was having relations with someone else's
Better
lover,
half.
wife, whatever, something of that
Better
nature.
half.
Better half, yeah, whatever. Or less likely, but still very probable.
People be getting crazy, man.
Yep. Cover up of an internal financial scandal or embezzlement.
So you're saying, by that last statement, you're saying that maybe
Could this be?
he found out that the person that whacked him was like embezzling a shit ton of money? Because look, B, you're missing the that one thing, B, that nobody except for like really good professionals, you're missing the one thing, B, is how did the person know what time he was going there?
We can get into that.
Well, we are.
This
That's what we're doing
something
now.
this is something that adds into the whole scheme that I believe that this is something that comes from the internal workings of that corporation. Somebody who works there knows where this guy was going, knew he would be giving a speech on a
Exactly.
New Year's,
Mm-hmm.
and where he would be going. The man was there for 3 or 4 days before this, and they knew that he was going to be over at this place and at about or approximately what time he would be arriving, because that person had stood there apparently and staged for quite a while, standing, waiting for this guy to show up.
And this was not too far past the Fox Studios, if I'm correct. And we also got some 2-3 minute clips here. B, why don't we throw the first one up? Give everybody that hasn't watched it or might be just hearing about this for the first time on X, Facebook, YouTube, and 7 other different platforms that Politicking with Mr. B and the FFN network are on. So, without further ado, B, you want to shoot those up?
Yeah, please, by all means. Let's see the first video you got.
That's all, folks.
Yeah, that's right. That's all, folks.
All right, B. Let's take a listen, ladies and gentlemen. Some interesting stuff right here, man.
We bring in Ted Williams, former D.C. homicide detective and Fox News contributor. Ted, welcome. This is obviously a tragic day for his family. He has 2 young children, and his wife had said this, Ted, earlier today. She said, quote, there had been some threats. She said, I just know that he said there were some people that had been threatening him. I can't really give a thoughtful response right now. I just found this out, and I'm trying to console my children. I mean, this poor woman had to have been in shock, but that is a significant piece of information to begin with here, Ted.
Hold the video. For the wife to come out with a statement like this so soon after her husband is murdered.
Oh, go ahead, B. Go ahead.
I smell a rat here. I smell a rat that says she knows a lot more.
I say, bull, my weevil.
She knows a lot more. I can tell it. I can feel it. She knows a lot more to what she's leading to. She knows that someone's been after this guy. She knows that this company, it's an insurance company. This company is more dirty than the inside of a freaking used volcano.
Well, you can't speculate like that, B. You know what I mean? You can't go around doing that. You know, that's not news, bro. That's just you having a fucking crazy opinion, which is, you know, that's what this is about. But I mean, you can't go say the company's dirty. And you're sitting there, and I think, like I said, a bulb goes out off above both our heads, and you're like, you know, I'm thinking the same way, bud. I'm like, wait a minute, man. I mean, I would be like totally screwed in the head, man. Controlling my kids, all of that stuff like that. My mind would be not to sit there and go, oh, let me send out a statement and let everybody know.
There's a meltdown financial scandal here. I can smell it. Already, I can smell it.
You think so, huh? All right, well, let's hear some more. God damn it. Mouse don't want to work today, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. There we go.
Yes, it is, Martha. And I got to tell you, what a tragedy. But everyone is saying that it was targeted, and I am echoing the same thing. When you see the gunman, there's a lot that you learn about this gunman. First of all, you can see that he is right-handed, that he does use his left hand to support that gun. He knows what he's doing. You can tell that he's proficient in using that weapon. You can see, and
I mean, listen to what he's saying.
Absolutely.
Okay, listen to what he's saying. And thus, ladies and gentlemen, down the bottom, that's a gray. Okay, first of all, not a sweatshirt. It looks like rain gear. Okay, number 2, that's a gray backpack on him. All right. So right off the bat, oh, fucking black this, black that. Okay. Technically, that's not a mask. They sell them Walmart, wherever you go. It's just a mouth protector for the wind chill and all of that stuff like that. So, again, like the FBI said, man, the video, I mean, there's treasure trove for them because they're experts of things that they can go hustle through here. Let's finish up.
In using that weapon, you can see, and I've heard that after he shot Thompson here, the gun jammed. He was able to clear that jam and continue to shoot that gun. And at some stage or another, as you know, he ran away, got on one of the e-bikes, got into Central Park,
e-bike,
and they haven't seen him since.
Yeah. So, Ted, I'm going to ask the control room to show us the full shot of his face, the shooter's face. Take that lower right photo full across the screen. Now, this is the best photo I've seen in terms of his features and the upper part of his face. It strikes me that if you know him, you're going to know him from this picture, right?
I wouldn't be surprised if
they're
going to
know him from the picture and perhaps from the clothes that he's wearing, although he has that backpack.
Hold the video and then
sorry,
talk, please.
B. I'm sorry, B. I wouldn't be surprised if they had him in custody within the next couple of days, tomorrow.
No, this guy's already deep underground.
You think so, huh, B? I mean, all I got to say right here, B, is you should be out there on the streets. I mean, because you seem to get this, he's gone, he's underground, he's this, he's that, I mean, he fucking took an e-bike. Now, either this is set up to the point where they put a lot of shit in here to confuse the fuck out of the police and all of that stuff like that, or this guy wasn't that, bright. Why take an e-bike? Then again, who cares, right? But the e-bike was just a faster way, right, to get out of the area. If you run out of the area, what does that create, B? What does that do? That makes people want to know why a person is running, right?
Well,
the chances are more people.
Though. There are people who go running all over the place in New York City. They go jogging.
I'm not disagreeing with that, B. But B, you're not going to look at focus on a person more that you see running by you than someone walking by you, B?
No,
I would. Someone runs by me, B, I'm going to be like, hey, whoa, what's up? You're not because I see it every day, B. I mean, I think the majority of people would look. I could be wrong. Me, I would look at someone running by me. But so again, I think that's why the e-bike was in play. Let's hear some more.
Here's another thing why the e-bike would come into play. What's all over the streets in New York City?
E-bikes.
Traffic. E-bikes can dart between the cars and around the cars and through around traffic, on the sidewalks and wherever else, where other things and there's thousands of the damn things.
Right. And if you run in, there's chances on you might run into a taxi cab or something like that. You know what I mean? E-bike. I don't know. But I just let's finish up. But again, could be my camera, shows that he's wearing a rain gear. Okay. Gray backpack.
Yeah, to me, it looks like it's a hoodie.
It looks
like he's wearing a hoodie.
Well, I'm not disagreeing that he has a hood on. I don't think he's wearing the street term for hoodie that you're thinking. That's definitely rain gear. It's shiny. Right. You know what I mean? Shiny.
Right. Yeah, so something that has a water repellent.
Right.
Okay.
Change
let's
clothes
continue.
at some stage or another.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you look at his eyes and his nose here, if this is somebody that you know in your life, I think you're going to be able to identify him from this photo because you get a pretty clear shot of his nose, his forehead, and his whole area around his eyes. Ted, obviously the manhunt is underway. A family is grieving. A company has lost their leader, and this is an absolute tragedy on the streets of New York and a manhunt underway. Ted, thank you very much for joining us today.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Ted.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube.
Okay, well, they mentioned that there's a treasure trove of information on the video and so forth, and from the site, not the least of which are some spent shell casings, which appear to be reportedly are 9mm, and some live rounds of ammunition that needed to be cleared as the gun jammed. Now, whether or not those contain fingerprints from having been loaded into the magazine of the handgun that was used remains to be seen. The person very easily could have been wearing cloth or nitrile type or some other type of gloves that would impede fingerprints from being placed on the shell casings. Don't know, have no idea. That's all up to them. However, at least they do have those things that are there, and that motorized bicycle itself may very well have a GPS tracking unit in it.
Right.
So there could be that, and God only knows. Was this person? Did they pull the Boffo thing where they actually rented the thing themselves? Was it a rental bike where they stuck a credit card inside a machine? And they also happened to find what they believe was may have been a cell phone belonging to the person suspected of being the shooter along the route. Was this a dump phone? Was this something that belonged to them at all? We don't know. That remains to be seen. However, again, you got to follow whatever breadcrumbs you find, I guess.
Right, and we got another video that we can definitely put up and then go to break. So here we go, folks.
Oh, beautiful.
And I want to bring in Nicole Parker, former FBI special agent and Fox News contributor now. Nicole, you were with me the last few seconds of the Faulkner Focus. Break down what we didn't get to that was so critical to you, because your first words out of that news conference were that it was just chock full of information.
I did. I thought it was an outstanding press conference. And a few of the things that I noted to me as an investigator, the number one thing is that they were able to recover a cell phone. A cell phone is a treasure trove of information.
So they did
as far
recover
as the text
it.
messages, who they were communicating with, who their contacts were, who they were calling, locating where that phone was leading up to this incident. You know, this is not a random attack. I can tell you this is more of like an assassination attempt. There was a pre-planned motive definitely here.
Ooh.
I don't know who the individual was. Was this a hitman? Was this someone who was disgruntled? But there is no coincidence here. This is a high-level executive in a very prestigious setting of New York City. And the individual, the CEO or the executive who was killed, he came from Minnesota. Who had access to his schedule? How many people knew where he was going to be? Was this conference online? Was it advertised? Was it on the internet? Who knew all of this information? Had he had an issue with someone, a disgruntled employee, a grievance, a personal relationship issue? All of this is going to be delved through by law enforcement, both in Minnesota and in New York with the NYPD. So it's going to be a joint investigation because they are going to want to understand what is his history. Obviously, they're looking into his social media accounts, interviewing loved ones, family members, employees. But this is a all hands on deck issue. Another thing that I thought was interesting was when they said that the bike, I believe that they said that there are GPS devices on those bikes. And that is very, very crucial information and detail. He likely had planned this, obviously, and planned to walk away. He probably knew exactly where that bike docking station was, got the bike, and then went off. As we mentioned in another guest, Central Park, you know, maybe not as much surveillance footage is going to be able to be located from that area, and obviously many places to hide in that backpack. What was in that backpack? We all know as investigators that the suspects usually are in one set of clothing, and within moments, they have changed their entire persona. And that's probably what was in that backpack. So he can now just roam around New York City. But again, NYPD is the best and the brightest, and this individual will be brought to justice, I have no doubt.
Well, and roam around in a city where we just found out that we have 58,000 extra criminals on the ground here because we've let in so many illegals, and that was a number that popped less than 48 hours ago. And among them are some vicious, violent murderers. So not that that has anything to do with this case, except for this. That's extra footwork for NYPD. You got to feel through all of that, and you have people who are already trying to hide from law enforcement. So you got to make sure everybody who's hiding faces and doing all of that stuff isn't part of the... I mean, that's just mind-boggling. 58,000 of these people here, and these are the bad guys.
unbelievable. And again, that is a failure, and that is another topic, but it links into this. The violent crime issues going on in our cities nationwide, typically the more democratic and blue cities, is unacceptable. And thank goodness we have a new president and sheriff coming into town. That has got to end. And the crime obviously is a spike from various reasons, particularly the open border. Having been an FBI agent, and I know people that are working that border on the FBI's behalf, it is a very dangerous threat to our nation.
We can dispense with the border situation discussion at this point. Let's see if we can remain our focus over here. I'm really beginning to suspect that whoever this person is who did the shooting is someone who was personally involved with whatever. This was not a hired gunman. I do not believe in my heart that this was someone who was hired. This is someone that somewhere along the line, someone who was aggrieved by this man. That it is my fervent, ardent belief, because they have all this information, and what professional hit person would bother escaping on an electric bicycle? What professional hit
I got
person
to breaking 10 minutes ago
would use a gun that jammed so easily? Were they practiced? Did they know how to use it? Did they know how to clear it? Yes. But what professional hired killer would
can
make
happen
all of these?
To anybody, B. Could happen to anybody. Professional, non-professional, just could happen. The key motives, BR, is this dude knew he was going to be there. Right there is motive.
Well, no, that's not his motive.
Well, yeah, that's true.
That's something to let up to it.
Part of it. That's part of it. Yeah,
What was this guy wrapped up in some sort of thing? Did he
and let's not forget the wife.
Out of shares and money, right, or whatever else, and bonuses?
Let's not forget the wife. Let's not forget the wife.
Yeah.
Maybe she's
wife,
the one who sent them.
No,
maybe she's the one who sent them.
I sincerely doubt that.
You just had an epiphany about it 10 minutes ago. Now it's no.
Yeah. She knows more than what she's saying, or alludes to, or whatever else. But I don't believe the wife is the one that went out and sent somebody to kill her husband. Right. I don't believe it.
We're going to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. And when we come back, we got some breaking. This news was just kicked off about 10 minutes ago. When we come back from our break in about 4.5 minutes, you're listening to Politicking with Mr. B on the FFN network.
Well, I've got spare parts from my last broken heart. Somehow more than what I had to start. Yeah, I've got spare parts. I tried to fix it best I remembered it. I hope it runs when I fire it up, 'cause I got spare parts. So if you see something that you might need, anything you can use, what's left of it might be a perfect fit, 'cause I got spare parts. He took a piece of you, like lovers often do. I'll try to make it good as new, 'cause I got spare parts. So if you see something that you might need, anything you can use, what's left of it might be the perfect fit, 'cause I've got spare parts. What's left of it might be the perfect fit, 'cause I've got spare parts.
Thank you, everybody. Welcome back very much. Thank you very much for watching the show. Politicking with Mr. B. We are discussing the apparent murder of Brian Thompson, the 50-year-old CEO of United Healthcare, that happens sometime in the early morning hours in New York City on the street by a what is said to be a Caucasian gunman who reportedly fired 2 or 3 rounds from a 9mm pistol into the man's body. An important thing to consider over here. There's things happening. You take a look at it, and even though we've had the economy being what it was, for some reason or another, United Health Group, the parent company of United Healthcare, in the last 5 years, their stock is up, I believe, over 100%. It's over $331 over the past 5 years. Now, I don't know about you, there are an awful lot of people who were not doing nearly that well. Something stinks to high hell here, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, of course, we have had the surging stock market and all of these things that's happening and all of that stuff. But in 5 years' time, the company's market share and so forth, the price of stock doubles like that. And now we've got a dead CEO with a couple slugs in his back and one in his leg. And we have almost instant statements from the wife saying that he got threatening messages, but she doesn't really know very much about these things. So, these things are sort of dancing around in my head. I'm sure you can understand why I have the suspicions that I have. We've got some more video, and we have our friend Mr. Blazeman, of course, back here, who's doing things. Mr. Blazeman, what do we have next to bring up for this subject matter?
Okay, so we just got some breaking news about 15 minutes ago. CBS reported. Let's take a listen.
United Healthcare released a statement saying, quote, Brian was a highly respected colleague and friend to all who worked with him. We are working closely with New York Police Department and ask for your patience and understanding during this very difficult time. CBS News correspondent Meg Oliver has details, and we want to warn you, some of the images and information could be disturbing.
The manhunt continues for the suspect who gunned down the CEO of United Healthcare, 50-year-old Brian Thompson. It happened just before dawn outside this Midtown Manhattan hotel. The gunman casually stepped onto the sidewalk, pulled out a gun with a silencer and shot Thompson in the back multiple times. Everything was caught on surveillance video. Then the suspect, who was identified as a light-skinned male wearing a black mask and carrying a gray backpack and black and white shoes, took off down an alleyway before hopping on a city bike. Police say the last time they saw him was riding through Central Park. Police describe this as a premeditated, targeted hit. Tonight, a massive police presence has fanned out across the city. They are combing through surveillance video. And sources tell CBS News that investigators with United Healthcare, they are combing through files looking for any possible motive or threats that were directed at Thompson. We are still waiting for any information on a possible motive. Thompson, who was from Minnesota and was in the city for a United Healthcare conference, leaves behind a wife and 2 sons. Back to you.
Meg Oliver, thank you so much. Anna Schechter joins us now. She's the CBS News senior coordinating producer for crime and public safety. We work a lot on these stories together, Anna. We heard.
Okay, here's something that a lot of people are going on about, but they're not talking about. This man was supposed to be giving some sort of a presentation or speech or some kind to some symposium later on in the morning at that hotel. Who were all of the other attendees? Every one of them knowing full well that that man was supposed to be there giving a presentation, giving a speech.
Right. And right now, the NYPD have every one of them people either down the station or someone that's went to their place of residence or wherever the hell they could find them to interview them.
Oh, yeah.
So that's being done as we speak.
I understand that. But perhaps the threat didn't come from within United.
No, maybe not.
Came from somebody else who was in the know and possibly attending that symposium.
In the know of what? In the know of what?
In the know that man was going to be there and when he would be there.
Right. That's what everyone's trying to figure out, B, is how he knew the itinerary. Right? If everybody is not accounted for that was supposed to be at this symposium or whatever the hell it was, lecture, whatever it was, somebody called out sick, yeah, that's a person of interest. Okay, B? You know, I get where you're going. But again, I mean, you got special law enforcement, FBI, NYPD, again, saying that this was a professional hit. I mean, I think they know a little bit more than what you and I do, B. Yeah. You know, they're calling it a professional hit.
They could also be putting out counterintelligence.
Well,
calling it a professional hit, trying to embolden the person who carried out this attack to come forward and make him believe
Embolden why? Like, I mean, like, they expect him to hear it on the TV or the radio or whatever.
No. Okay, well, they're looking
it's
for
not
a
me. I'm not that guy type of guy. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. But this is fucking interesting, and we're going to definitely stay on this. So, let's roll on more. Yeah. Let's listen to what the ladies have to say.
Meg say in the report, you see the silencer, you see how the person is directing this firearm at this person, but what is it that police determined made this a targeted attack?
Well, that was exactly part of it, that he was so cold and calculating. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he was waiting for about 5 minutes. He even had information about when.
He didn't run. He didn't run at all. He didn't fucking panic. Yeah, even when his gun jammed. Okay? I mean, look, when I'm talking about somebody, either this person is way cool junior, you know what I mean? And just did what he had to do because, like you said, B, was so off the rails because, God forbid, the wife didn't get the surgery because of the company's, whatever, insurance, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Let me throw this out at you.
But he was cool and calm.
Let me throw this out at you. Who else can do things like this so cool and calm? People who are trained upper echelon military types. Maybe this person has an upper echelon military background.
Could.
Some sort of.
I'm sure the FBI's thinking that kind of shit as well. You know, let's finish up.
The CEO was going to be entering the hotel because he came just in time and was positioning himself behind a vehicle so that as soon as that CEO walked by on the sidewalk, and you saw that in that footage, he then emerged from behind the car and shot him in the back. But it wasn't just that. He then continued to fire several more rounds. He did not quickly run away. He calmly walked across the street and then started to pick up the pace. And we know later got on a city bike. We also have new. He did not quickly.
Hello.
Sorry, forgot to turn my mic on. See the car? A fucking eyewitness right there.
Yeah.
As an eyewitness right there, should they be thanking the Lord that his gun jammed?
Did the person actually see the shooting or not? They could have been looking.
He's walking right by the fucking car, B. He's walking right by the car.
It doesn't mean the person that's inside the car is looking at the person being shot. Unless they actually see the crime happen in an act, they're not an eyewitness.
All right, B. Okay, so here's a fucking eyewitness right here, B.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, so
behind a vehicle so that as soon.
Okay, so that eyewitness is watching this guy pull out this fucking gank right now. Okay, the guy that was in the black, he could be the door guy for all we fucking know.
That actually on the right hand side is a lady, because I saw in another.
Now, okay,
news
so
thing,
a lady.
Woman who
there's still an eyewitness right there.
Said that she ran in the other direction as soon as the shooting started.
Mm-hmm. Eyewitness. Yeah. Okay, again, car still there.
Vehicle so that as soon as that CEO walked by on the sidewalk, and you saw that in that footage, he then emerged from behind the car and shot him.
He had no intent. So he's not crazy, B, because his intent wasn't to kill him, then kill everybody around him, because he didn't do that. Okay? Nope. All right. So now he's still walking.
In the back. But it wasn't just that. He then continued to fire several more rounds.
Now she's saying he continued to fire several more rounds. So now that means his gun unjammed. Now he's walking right by another eyewitness in this SUV right here.
He did not quickly run away. He calmly.
Not running away, not doing anything, didn't bother to look at the person in the SUV. You say the person in the SUV didn't see him.
Walked across the street.
There's still an eyewitness right here, though.
And then started to pick up the pace, and we know later got on a city bike. We also have new information in from the NYPD that it's not just that they lost him in the southern part of Central Park. We know he exited on the Upper West Side, on the west side, and police continue to analyze more and more surveillance videos from those buildings and businesses on the west side. So we hopefully will know more tonight about where he wound up.
What do you think are the next steps? Because you think about it happening in daylight. You think about the number of cameras in a city like New York City. But take us inside what's next in terms of finding this suspect.
Well, this is hours of footage. If you pull it all together, it's an enormous investigative process. It is hard for us to believe how in one of the most populous cities in the world with so many cameras, could he have evaded detection? But he did. He used the cover of the park. He was very smart in how he got on that bike and went into the park where there were fewer surveillance cameras. Mm-hmm. Then surveillance cameras started to pick him up again on the Upper West Side.
Being a random guy or fucking going down
I think we're getting closer. Now we know at least which side of the park. I mean, just a few hours ago. It's now 11 hours later. A long time has passed. So he has had time to put distance between himself and this crime, which is a problem for investigators. It's getting harder and harder.
Of course, they want to find the suspect first, but any idea on why this person targeted Brian?
I'm sorry. You mentioned, you just said something about my theory about what?
A random shooter.
No, this wasn't random. I do not have a theory that this was random. This was not random. I've never once espoused a theory of this being random.
Well, you certainly didn't put it to the point where it was an expert hit, B.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying the person is an expert. I'm not saying they're not. All I'm saying is there are things pointing.
We have four professionals that worked in their field for over 30 years saying that this was a professional hit, B. Let it go. It was a professional hit.
I'm not buying it.
You know what I mean?
I'm not buying it.
It's not a guy that, God forbid, lost his wife to a surgery that he couldn't get because, of the insurance. Something's up here. It's a professional hit. Again, fourth professional we had say on the video on this live show that they not got the guy smart, knew what he was doing, and it was a professional hit. Let's see what they're going to finish up doing right over here.
Thompson.
There are working theories that investigators are chasing down, whether there were threats in general to this big pharmaceutical industry or to this health insurance company within the broader pharmaceutical industry, some rantings against the industry, generally mentioning the corporation that investigators are looking at. But our NYPD sources do not have information about direct attacks, a direct threat of an attack to his person that would endanger him. So we are still working that theory that it was somebody who was disgruntled, but we don't have that answer. And, this can sometimes play out over days.
Oh, absolutely. Anna Schechter, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. At this point, we'd love to, if you're out there, ladies and gentlemen, you've got a theory, you got something you want to say about this, 508-974-4231. Pick up the phone, give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. 508-974-4231. Speak live with us. We'd love to hear from you here on Politicking with Mr. B. Now, Mr. Blazeman, do you want to scoot in on camera, or you want to stay behind the scenes?
I'm coming in with you, buddy. I'm coming in with you.
All right.
Just clearing this up right here. Over here. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Politicking with Mr. B.
Now we've heard again that the bike has a GPS tracker thing.
Yeah.
This is another thing that if there was someone who truly was a professional, they wouldn't have used.
Well, why not?
They wouldn't use something that they know has a GPS tracker on it.
He didn't use it prior to that. And first of all, he knew he had about at least a good 20-minute head start after he made the shots, after he killed the dude, after he got on the bike. So the GPS shows him riding through Central Park. Then all of a sudden the GPS stops right there because he got off, getaway car. I don't know, whatever, That's why time's going to tell. You know what I mean? What are they going to do? Are they closing down the bridge? You know what I mean? Are they keeping everything, in Manhattan or whatever? You know what I mean? I don't know.
I'm sure that they're doing things right now, combing, as she was talking about, all of the videos, miles and miles of videos and so forth, that they'd be going through anything from Ring cameras to traffic cameras and
yeah. If you want
traffic cameras from taxi cab cameras, anything.
If you want a good example of that, just go on YouTube and do the Boston Marathon bombing movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It shows how they just took over this huge warehouse and just got everybody's cell phone, cameras, you name it. And that's what they do. All eyes are on a video screen until this guy has been apprehended. But yeah, the way we see it, we'll be following this story, and I'm sure Politicking with Mr. B will be back with it next week as well. Anything that develops real seriously, just keep us in mind because we could just drop right on with a special report if they apprehended this guy or do whatever. So everybody pay attention to your platforms.
I really believe, I truly believe that they're going to find out a lot more. And somewhere, if anything, something's going to break open over this. We have not heard the least of it. And this, if anything, could very well be the very tip of the iceberg of what may be coming for United Healthcare. But I truly believe that there is something far deeper than this. Isn't just someone who got caught in bed with somebody else's wife or whatever. So anyway, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much for watching, tuning in, Politicking with Mr. B. And we got Mr. Blazeman. I want to thank you very much for having done all the work that you have done. And once again, I want to thank our dear people that tuned in and sent me this wonderful gift, these beautiful shirts. Crystal and Thomas, thank you very, very much, all the way down in Houston. If you got something you want to, okay, try it again. If you got something you want to say, send us a note, ffnnetwork9@gmail.com, or you can come in or pick up the phone when the show is live, 508-974-4231. And if by some chance, ladies and gentlemen, you happen to have a Syrian that maybe you want to think about putting into a podcast of your own, get a hold of us. Give us a call. Contact the FFN network. Talk with Blazeman. Propose it. And you yourselves could have your own show on platforms like this. And who knows, you could be the next whatever star. All right, that having been said, thank you very much for watching. I'm Mr. B, Politicking with Mr. B. We'll see you all again soon, everybody. Take care. Have a good night.
Just watched an FFN Network production.